My aunt tried to steal my baby, so I made her regret ever trying. I was 7 months pregnant when I moved back to my hometown. My husband, Daniel, had gotten a job overseas, so I decided to stay with my family until the baby arrived. My Aunt Linda welcomed me with open arms. She lived just next door to my parents' house and always said she loved children. At first, everything felt warm, safe, and familiar. I felt lucky to have my family close, but little did I know something dark was growing. I trusted the wrong person. Linda would bring me food, help with laundry, and talk to me for hours. She even said she was more excited than me to meet the baby. I believed her. She had no kids of her own, and I thought maybe I was giving her a sense of joy she had never experienced. But there was something strange in her eyes sometimes, like she was too eager. Her smile lingered too long, and she stared at my belly like it was already hers. I started feeling nervous around her. One night, I woke up and found her sitting beside my bed. She smiled and said, "I just wanted to check if you're okay." I forced a smile and went back to sleep. The next morning, I felt uneasy. I brushed it off, telling myself she was just being caring, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Her presence started to feel like a shadow I couldn't shake. I avoided being alone with her. My mom started noticing things, too. Linda would often hold my baby bump and whisper things like, "You're going to be mine." My mom warned me to be careful, but I didn't want to believe Linda would ever do something bad. After all, she was my family. But sometimes even family can cross dangerous lines. I tried to smile through it, but I couldn't ignore the chills anymore. My heart felt uneasy. As the days passed, her behavior got weirder. She insisted on choosing the baby's name. She even showed me a nursery she had decorated in her house. I laughed nervously and said, "You're spoiling him already." But inside I felt sick. It was too much too soon, and it wasn't her baby to spoil. I began locking my door at night. I didn't feel safe. One afternoon, I overheard her on the phone. She said, "She's too young and careless. The baby will be better off with me." My heart dropped. I realized then, Linda wasn't just excited. She had a plan, and that plan didn't include me. I froze in shock. The day I gave birth was the happiest and scariest day of my life. My son, Liam, was born healthy and beautiful. Daniel flew in to be with me for a week. Everything felt perfect for a short while. But something in the back of my mind told me peace wouldn't last long. I clung to every joyful second. I was afraid of what was coming. Linda was the first person to visit me in the hospital. She held Liam like he was hers. Her eyes filled with tears, and she whispered, "Finally, you're here." It made me uncomfortable. I tried to laugh it off, but she wouldn't let go of him. My arms felt empty and my heart began to race. I wanted to take him back. When we got home, Linda practically moved in. She cooked meals, held the baby for hours, and told me to rest. I appreciated the help, but she started taking over everything. She didn't let me feed him or bathe him. It was like she had claimed him. I began to feel like a guest in my own life. My heart ached. One night I found her in Liam's room, alone, rocking him and crying. She didn't hear me walk in. She whispered, "I'll be the mother you deserve." I froze. My blood ran cold. I took Liam from her arms and asked her to leave. Her tears turned to anger. I couldn't believe what I had heard. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. My mom and dad started worrying too. They said I needed to be more careful. Daniel agreed and said I should start setting boundaries. But it was already too late. Linda had crossed the line. Her obsession was dangerous. I checked the baby monitor one night and saw Linda sneaking into Liam's room. That's when I knew she wouldn't stop. I had to act fast. I needed a plan. My baby was no longer safe. I was terrified. One stormy night, Liam disappeared. I woke up to an empty crib. My heart dropped into my stomach. I screamed and ran through the house. My parents jumped out of bed. We searched every room, but he was gone. My whole world shattered. The front door was wide open. Rain was pouring. I ran outside barefoot, calling his name. My mom cried behind me. I called the police, shaking and crying. My mind went wild with fear. I couldn't breathe. I was losing my mind. Then I remembered Linda. I ran to her house, banging on the door. No answer. The lights were off. Her car was gone. I told the police about her strange behavior. They took it seriously. I felt sick. A search began. I felt like I was dying every second that passed. My baby was out there, alone, with someone who had lost touch with reality. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't eat or sleep. Every second felt like a year. 24 hours later, they found her. She was staying in a motel, one town over. Liam was with her, crying. She had dressed him in new clothes and changed his name in a fake birth certificate. She said, "He's mine now." The officers took him from her arms. I cried like never before. I held Liam like I would never let go again. I sobbed and thanked God. But the pain wasn't over. Linda was arrested. My family was in shock. How could she do this? My heart was shattered. Linda didn't go down without a fight. She claimed I was unfit to be a mother. She hired a lawyer and tried to get custody. She lied in court saying I had postpartum depression and couldn't care for my baby. It felt like betrayal layered on top of pain. I couldn't believe this was real. Her lies cut deep. It was a nightmare. I had to prove I was a good mother. I showed photos, videos, and even got support from my doctor. Daniel came back to help. He testified on my behalf. My parents stood by me. I fought with everything I had. Still, Linda looked confident. She said, "I did what I had to do. That baby needed me." The judge looked disturbed. The court psychologist said Linda showed signs of obsession and delusion. Her eyes never left Liam. She still thought he was hers. I felt scared. The courtroom was tense. Every word felt like a stab. But I stayed strong. I held Liam in my arms every day in court. He was my strength, my reason to fight. I refused to give up. Finally, after weeks of pain and stress, the judge made the decision. Full custody was granted to me. Linda was ordered to stay away from us forever. She was also sent for psychological evaluation. The courtroom fell silent. Relief washed over me. I could breathe again. As she was taken away, she screamed, "He was supposed to be mine!" I looked her in the eye and said, "He never was." Tears filled my eyes, but my voice didn't shake. I held Liam tightly. I had won. Life after the trial wasn't easy. I had nightmares. I kept checking Liam's room every night. Daniel stayed a few more months before returning to work. I felt broken, but relieved. My soul was tired. But I kept going. My mom helped me rebuild. She stayed close, never leaving my side. My dad installed cameras all around the house. We didn't take any chances. We were careful. We were scared. But we were strong. Liam began to grow. His smile brought light back into my life. He was safe. That's all that mattered. I started journaling my journey. It helped me heal. I started to find peace. People in town whispered. Some blamed me. Some blamed Linda. But I didn't care anymore. My focus was my son. I wanted to give him a life full of love, not fear. I walked with pride. I started a support group for young mothers. I met women who had faced dark times. Together, we healed. Together, we grew stronger. I shared my story. They shared theirs. We lifted each other. I promised myself one thing. Liam would never know pain like I did. He would grow up strong, loved, and protected. He would know truth, not lies. He would know safety, not fear. And above all, he would know he was wanted. Always. Years passed. Liam grew into a kind and happy boy. He had no memory of what happened, but I always kept a watchful eye. I told him stories of strength, of courage, of love. I wanted him to learn without fear. I wanted him to live fully. He was my heart. One day he asked me, "Mom, why do we have so many cameras?" I smiled and said, "To keep you safe, my love." He didn't need to know the details. Not yet. I hugged him tightly. I whispered a prayer. I promised to always protect him. Linda was never heard from again. She was placed in a mental health facility. I didn't hate her, I just pitied her. She let her pain turn into poison. And she lost everything because of it. She became a memory. I wrote my story online. Thousands of women read it. Some cried, some reached out. Many had their own Aunt Linda in their lives. I knew then my story mattered. It was bigger than me. Revenge doesn't always mean hurting someone back. Sometimes the best revenge is living a life so strong and beautiful it silences every doubt, every whisper, every lie. My peace became my victory. My healing became my weapon. My love became my legacy. I found purpose in pain. Liam hugged me one night and said, "You're the best mom ever." I closed my eyes and whispered, "Thank you for choosing me." And just like that, the pain turned into peace. My heart finally rested. My journey had meaning. I was finally free.